Hey, what's going on, everyone? Moin! Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mace, coming to you from North America, but the good part, I'm in Canada. And today we're checking out a video. It's titled, Germany's AfD party has been classified as extreme right by German intelligence. Weren't they already classified as extreme right? So let's just see what's the details of this story specifically. Because I know the AfD has already been... I thought this had already happened, but there must be a new development, I'm guessing. Let's check out the description. Germany's Alternative for Deutschland party has been designated as right-wing extremist by the country's Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution. The ethnicity and ancestry-based understanding of the people prevailing within the party is incompatible with the free democratic order. Okay, that was a mouthful. The ethnicity and ancestry-based understanding of the people prevailing within the party is incompatible with the free democratic order, the Domestic Intelligence Agency said in a statement. The AfD came second in federal elections in February, winning a record 152 seats. Also, out of the 630-seat parliament, with 20.8% of the vote. The parliament, or Bundestag, will hold a vote next week to confirm conservative leader Friedrich Merz as chancellor, heading a coalition with the center-left Social Democrats. AfD joint leaders Alice Weidel and Tino Trupala said the decision was clearly politically motivated and a severe blow to German democracy. Let's take a look.
Now to politics in Germany, where the far-right political party, the AfD, Alternative for Deutschland, has been classified as an extremist organization by the country's domestic intelligence agency.
I thought this had already happened, though.
The AfD made major gains in recent parliamentary elections, standing on a platform of opposing immigration. According to...
So I would have to look at, like, what is their exact platform when it comes to immigration? Because, look, immigration needs to be talked about. You can't just... Obviously, we can't just have unlimited immigration, right? I think everybody can agree to that. You can't just, every single person from the world just come in. Like, there has to be a stability to it. And it has to be looked at carefully, because if it's going to destabilize the country, if there's not enough housing, if there's not enough jobs, if there's, right? Like, you can't just let in infinite numbers of people. So there has to be legislation, and it needs to be legislated properly to the best interests of the people that already are in that country. Like Canada, we need immigrants, absolutely. However, I do believe like immigration numbers have gone up in the last decade, something like 200, 300%. And there already is a housing crisis. And so people, voting blocks, they see these things happening, and they see crime rates increasing, and they equate everything together with all of that. But the question is, will this increase the AfD's popularity, or will it decrease their popularity? I don't know. I guess time will tell. Make sure to leave comments down below, and let me see you guys. This is going to be a good one.
To the agency, the AfD wants to exclude people from the democratic process based on their ancestry or ethnicity, and this, it said, is incompatible with the German constitution. The AfD has described the news as a heavy blow to democracy. Well, let's speak now to Clara Pfeffer, a political correspondent for German outlets RTL and NTV. Clara, thank you very much for joining us today to tell us more about this, and take us through what the intelligence agencies are saying, their reasoning for this decision.
Yes, thank you very much, and hello from Berlin. They are basically confirming a suspicion that they've been investigating for years now. So the AfD has been a case of suspicion of being extremist for years, and now they've compiled a paper of 1,100 pages that is saying we have it confirmed. We know that the AfD is not against basically the democratic principles of our German constitution, specifically because it is trying to exclude entire groups, especially people with a migrational background and people who are of Muslim religion. So they have found proof, and that's not everything. They've also found more and more proof and put it together into that paper, saying that the AfD is repeatedly using Nazi slogans that are usually not allowed in Germany. They have been saying that we should change our way of remembering the Holocaust. So they've just put everything together that we've been seeing and also many people have known for years. And you must also know that the AfD is already classified.
So kind of like I need to look into more the devil's in the details, right? So like what she's saying, we've seen those headlines. The AfD using quote unquote Nazi slogans and trying to shift away from Holocaust remembrance and like seeing some sort of issue with the way that Germany goes about like the never again and making sure that people are aware and like I don't see why they would be against that at all. But if they're truly trying to not include people in the democratic process, I don't know how exactly they would achieve that. It says they're trying to exclude Muslims or people of migration backgrounds. How?
As extremist in 3 different states in Germany, former Eastern German states.
Like,
so this is now basically confirming
exclude
that
them from
that is the
voting,
case not
or
only for these 3 states, but for the entire German country.
Interesting comments from Chancellor Olaf Scholz. He's not Chancellor for very much longer, of course, but he's saying the Domestic Intelligence Agency provides very detailed justification, but ban proceedings must not be rushed. What sort of discussion is there about a potential ban?
Ban? Damn. I feel like that's going to accelerate polarization if such a thing takes place, if they ban a political party. I don't know. Yeah, Germany's got it tough right now. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a highly political discussion that has been going on for years, and especially in the last couple of months, it has also been discussed a lot. The last government, or the last Bundestag that was just re-elected, said that they tried to do it. They tried to get a majority. They failed. There were not enough members of parliament who were in favor of starting a ban. That's also a very long process. And the discussion is basically, how do we get that party smaller? That's what the other political parties want to reach, and they are worried that
well, of course,
if you try it with an actual ban and that whole
it's
process,
going to
that will take years. And throughout those years, the AfD will have the opportunity
galvanize the AfD,
to
I would
claim
say.
that that's being a cause, that they are actually the victims, that is not transparent, that they're being surveyed by the state. So that will also be an opportunity for the AfD to maybe grow even further and mobilize.
Yeah, and the AfD, they are talking about legal action in response to this classification, aren't they?
Exactly. They are saying that they want to take legal actions. They've also tried that against that case of suspicion that has been going on for years. Last year, a court in Münster confirmed that they are a case of suspicion. There is still some more legal action going on, and they will also now try to have legal actions against that classification, that confirmation of this classification, because I think that's important to understand that we've already been seeing that for years, and now it's basically a confirmation of what the Bundesamt für Verfassungsschutz, which is the institution that tries to make sure that our constitution is protected in Germany, has been seeing and surveying for years. So they will take legal actions. I don't know how much possibility of success there is, but obviously that delays things, and the discussion will be out there for months and months to go.
Okay.
Yeah, all very interesting stuff for the political climate in Germany. Obviously, a lot of it has to do with the current citizenry's opinions and fears, worries, whatever you want to call it, over immigration, crime rates, inflation, etc. There's a reason that the AfD captured 152 seats. So I feel like you need to begin to not so much worry about the AfD. And look, if they're saying Nazi slogans and they're being outwardly racist, of course, those things need to be called out and dealt with legally and properly through the proper channels. But you need to start worrying about all the people that voted for the AfD. And those parties need to start worrying and thinking, brainstorming, of how you pull those people back. How do you entice those voters to switch, not vote for the AfD? And how can you make them feel that their concerns are being heard and being dealt with? That's the question, because the voters have legitimate grievances. They have legitimate things that they're worried about. So the question is, how do you appeal to them again? How do you pull them back if they are floating towards a more fascist way of thinking? Because you got to try. You got to do it. You got to think, how are you going to do it? Let's look at these comments. This comment section will be a gong show, if I had to guess. Let's check it out. Headline: Germany becomes totalitarian state out of fear of becoming a totalitarian state. Instead of right totalitarian, it becomes left totalitarian. What a brilliant horror novel this would make. Who decided that multiculturalism was mandatory for all nations, and when was this proclamation voted upon? Who do they classify as the extreme left? See if is there one? AfD surpassed the CDU in polls countrywide. That's the reason they declared them extremist. Same happened a while back in Saxony and Thuringia when they passed the CDU in polls. Nothing says screw democracy like classifying the most political party in Germany as an extremist group. This is about undemocratic as it gets. I do kind of want to see Rubos's thoughts on the whole idea, which maybe I'll check out tomorrow. All right, let me know your comments down below. It's all super interesting stuff. I don't think we're quite as polarized here. Well, at least we don't have a party that we would classify as extreme here in Canada. The Conservatives have been leaning towards more Trumpist type politics, but still at the end of the day, we're Canadians, and the Conservatives just lost the federal election to the Liberals. However, they did gain a lot of seats, the Conservative movement. So there is that. The NDP, the New Democratic Party in Canada, was basically decimated. They're essentially, I don't know if they're officially non-party status or not, but we did have the People's Party of Canada, which was more Trumpian, and they kind of sprouted out of the pandemic. So they were very much against mandates and lockdowns, and they used all of that rhetoric, the trucker convoy, which you guys might remember. They used all of that to kind of springboard and capture a lot of more extreme right voters. But most people are more sensible than that. All right, we'll see you soon.